Welcome to the In My Opinion Show with Ronald, Barrington, Robinson, and friends. Seen on the internet 24 hours, 7 days a week. The In My Opinion Show is now seen in Flint, Michigan on channel 17. And the surrounding areas we're seen in Detroit, Michigan, Wayne County, and adjoining counties we're also seen downriver, bordering the Ohio line. And in fact, speaking about the Ohio line, Mr. Hatter, we've noticed signs talking about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which is a great accomplishment because I know you put a lot of work into that, and
a lot of Americans put a lot of work into that.
But you were pretty much the go-to guy, I think, here in Michigan, and Michigan, and the people of Michigan and the world applaud you for that dedication.
Thank you.
And we're also seen on the internet and YouTube, Bing. So please subscribe. It's free. All right. So when you go to our own station, subscribe. I want to welcome our millions of viewers worldwide, and especially our very talented co-hosts and our technical staff. With us we have Mr. Henry Hatter.
Thank you, Ron, and I would like to welcome also our smoking gun. Thank you.
And Mrs. Jackie Williams.
Thank you, Ron, and you too, Henry.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the FBI email letter from Director James Comey to members of Congress. I think this was very disingenuous of this person, all right? If I had my others, he'd be collecting unemployment right now, okay? Because that's something you just don't do, and he should have known better. People don't say things, that they have no idea, whether it's fact or fiction, and deliver it and spread it out as if it's truth. Okay? Sorry just does not get it at the end of the day. Okay? We've had too much of that. Apologies upon top of apologies. From my point of view. Jackie, what's your thoughts?
I just think that his announcement was very unfortunate and very premature. And it violated the voters where he's not supposed to bring any damaging information to either side until after the election, after a certain amount of time. And I believe that's 90 days as well. And also, especially when he doesn't have the details, it was like they tore him so bad, and when I say they, the Republicans, when he wasn't able to find anything to convict Hillary on the email prior to that, and he said that there was no criminal doing, they were so upset with him. I think he was trying to make them happy by doing a sacrifice, and she was the sacrifice, because after they reported it, all of the news media, ran with it, and they were reporting that this would cause for an indictment. But what happened was that was incorrect as well. Fox went on to apologize for that 2 weeks later, but the damage is done. Even Trump's campaign manager, that special woman, she even said the damage is done. But now Trump is still on this, he's on a campaign trail, and he's still speaking of something that we know is not true. But this calls for other people to step up when you're not doing what's right. The media during this whole process, to me, have taken a back seat to reporting things that are of interest versus things that are true. And I think the media need to take their job back and do what they were meant to do, as opposed to just doing entertainment, but they need to do real reporting. And this would eliminate all of these premature issues or whatnot we have. And then the email was about Anthony Weiner. Well, that's his information. It has nothing to do with Hillary. It was his information, and what he had did that was in violation of him and his wife. It had nothing to do with her. So again, just anything you can grab to try to knock her down.
In my opinion, probably shared by millions out there, Trump is a serial liar, okay? A serial liar. I'll say it again. Trump is a serial liar. okay, not fit to hold the office of the presidency, the most powerful man in the world. Let's go back a few years ago. Published reports state that George Bush and Cheney they deleted, all right, over 22 million emails. All right, that's 22 emails. Okay. Now, how come we have not been hearing about that? You know, Fox News is it's a piece of baloney. All right, they're not really worth watching. Fox News, okay, because they distort, they lie. All right. I mean, geez. I mean, I guess we could talk about this till next week sometime. But we need to put a stop to this. And I would encourage, for the people out there, don't watch these programs, that have a penchant to lie to the American people. Okay, if you stop watching those programs, there goes their funding, and then pretty soon they'll disappear. Okay, same way with newspapers. All right, if they're not conveying truth to the American public, that's why newspapers came into existence. All right, to tell the truth, and the editors that want to edit the truth, stop buying the papers, stop listening to the stations. All right, because and call the advertisers and tell them to stop funding these programs. Henry, what's your opinions on this?
Thank you, Ron. A good discussion. First of all, you say the emails were irrelevant to Mrs. Clinton's emails, right? Mm-hmm. This last one that came from the Justice Department, Weiner.
No, he was just some idiot.
You still gotta you gotta have a source of the emails themselves and the claim that was considered a bad claim. But you gotta remember, this is subject to classified information. This was all under that dome of classified information. And somehow, had it not been under the specification of classified information, it would have been irrelevant. But now, you say that this should not have been released. But if Comey knew that, he would have reported it earlier. Maybe he would have considered it earlier.
But he didn't. He cleared her.
He cleared her.
Yeah, he would have. But if he had known that, he would probably made a different. We have to hope that he would have made a different decision.
Okay, but about what? I mean, if the thing is, Anthony Weiner.
Classified information. We don't talk about.
We don't know if it was classified or not.
Yes, it has to be classified.
He hasn't given any information regarding to what it said.
You have to assume that was a print.
I don't want to assume. I can't assume.
Did you ask anybody whether it was classified or non-classified? But if it's, as you say, unclassified information.
No, he just said that we found some information that we're reviewing.
Part of doing a good job as a moderator or a writer or whatever, you must ask the right questions.
What's Weiner emails going to Weiner got to do with?
Was it had to pertain to
Hillary Clinton?
Well, was it on a classified?
If I had his email, I could send him some shit. All right, and say, hey, look.
And he would open it.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about Weiner. All right.
He would open it.
Okay. Does that make the information that I might send him? All right. Classified. Something for FBI Director Comey to put out there like it's truths.
If you guys don't stick to the issue at hand, as it pertains, then this is classified information. I'm going to have to ignore you and go to the intellectuals.
Well, come with the intellectuals.
Well, come on with it.
What do you think we are?
Chop liver, come on.
What this is all about has to do with classified information. And
no, you're speculating.
Yeah, I could be speculating because I don't know.
Right, we're both speculating, so your speculation is no higher than mine.
You didn't preface your remarks on that you were speculating, but I always do that.
Okay. Well, I take your education point and I raise you, and I'll move up and I say I speculate that this was ridiculous on behalf of the Republicans.
No, yeah, you can say that. But
I know.
We still don't have any information.
Right, and neither do they.
So,
but what is not speculation is he's sending these email letters to members of Congress. That is not speculation.
You're supposed to. Congress has a right to do to see those emails, and so does the American people.
Once
the American people have a right to see this.
Not until you establish what the wrongdoing was, and this is what I think he did.
We're talking about classified information.
Okay, but if I was a person who kept showing myself to young people, I would think everything I did was classified too, because all you have to do is deem it classified, and it's classified.
No, it's that there's a process. There's a criteria.
And they all worked in the government, so he know how to classify, and they know how to unclassify. That's how he was caught. So my point is, you don't know who did that, because that doesn't mean that it was classified information, because that is a manual.
You're whistling Dixie now.
Okay, well then let's sing it.
I feel that you said that they don't know whether it was classified or unclassified.
Because he hasn't stated.
But guess what?
What?
The premise of these emails were based on classified information. So if you think that
they said they found an email of interest.
Okay.
Of interest to be investigated.
Classified or non-classified?
Well, he didn't say that.
We're wasting our breath here talking about that.
Well, he wasted his breath announcing it, because he reminded me of a little kid who had been looking for something and couldn't find anything to pin somebody with. So he found something, and he was so excited that he finally would redeem himself.
You're spinning a yarn right now.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and yarn some gloves. So he was so excited after he was dismantled by your party, because he did not convict Hillary Clinton because of the emails, the 33,000 emails that your person will not stop talking about. So he was so glad to find this one email, even though it didn't have anything to do with Hillary. He didn't care what name was on it. I can pin her to this one.
Well, he forgave Hillary and all of the other emails, and they were powerful, poison emails.
It wasn't.
We don't know.
Unfavorable.
Here you go again.
The interest of the United States.
Use your word that you made me use.
What?
Speculating.
Well.
No. Let's use it. Let's use it.
Yeah, but this.
No. Let's use the speculating, because you're acting like Donald Trump with the hands. No. You need to say speculating just like you made me do.
That was not speculating in that first investigation.
That's why they didn't. That's why they didn't convict him. Is because convict her, because they didn't find anything that was damaging.
That's what he said, to save her butt.
No.
He don't have any. He's not saving her.
Huh?
He's on your team.
Comey was protecting the interests of the Clintons.
Comey allegedly.
So who he protecting right now?
I don't know. We got this based on speculation until we find out more information.
Comey right now is protecting his backside.
That's right, because they after him, because they were like, you had a chance to dismantle
her. He knows that Trump is going to be president, and so he wants to make sure he's got a job after that.
Well,
if Clinton's president, he definitely won't have a job.
Do we have quid pro quo here?
Huh?
I say with Comey, do we have quid pro quo here?
I don't know.
Huh?
I think we do.
But I think it was
getting something for something, folks. That's what
I think it was justification that this all came out, and I regret if this was damaging to Mrs. Clinton and didn't pertain to classified information.
And also, they stated that this was a wiki leak, which is coming from Russia. So this is the thing that they brought up yesterday on the news, and it says it's a very dangerous. They don't know that
either. Maybe they have intelligence.
Yeah, they do. We were hacked by the Russians, and they said this, and the Russians are feeding this information, and they said this is very dangerous, because why are the Russians so interested in our process? Because they have something to lose. What do they have to lose if Hillary Clinton becomes president? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves, because he doesn't care if your candidate makes it. He doesn't care about Trump. But he is very uncomfortable about Hillary Clinton being the president.
But do you agree that the Americans do the very same thing? We've been doing this for years. we've been interfering with tapping into the intelligence of other countries.
We're not sending.
Hang on, let me finish my point. We've been tapping into their information just to maintain the balance of power in the world. You know, this is nothing new. We're just whistling.
I don't. That's your new word for today.
Well, that's what Comey is doing, whistling jig.
Well, we don't know yet because this pertains to classified
and he don't know. He just wanted to say something.
You keep throwing this classified information shit.
That's what it's all about.
You need to say speculating like you told me.
Classified information. Why do you think we have this discussion? Why did these emails arise?
Of interest. He said of interest.
She had classified information on a personal computer.
And not just her. Several other officials have had private servers, and it was never a big deal until a woman did it.
Oh, I know you mean.
Yeah, I'm pulling a woman card. I'm pulling a woman's card.
Don't pull the women down with that feeble argument.
I think that's the attack because
that's a feeble argument.
People out there don't want to see a woman
because we're breaking all records.
Yes, I don't believe that. All right. Okay.
Some people would use that argument, and for many women, you downgrade them.
I want to see a woman in the White House.
Women have the capacity to do anything that a man has to do.
Well, I mean, you have to
don't use a feeble argument.
No, that's not feeble. I'm going to just tell you the progression. We used to couldn't even do anything without having a husband. So we didn't even have a voice without a husband. We couldn't own land. We couldn't do any of that. Now we are able to be full citizens. We're able to work and be outside the home. Mm-hmm. Now we're able to run the country like it should have been ran from the beginning.
Okay, why don't you say that about blacks? They've grown.
Why do you keep bringing blacks?
It's the same argument. It's the same argument.
Not the same
you have a right to own a home. You have a right to do that. And look what the progress we have made, and you're still complaining.
And some of us have turned black. It must be another color you can turn after you got to a certain point.
You're using ambivalent reasons.
No, I'm using.
You're also demeaning people of color.
Yes.
How is that?
Okay,
we have made tremendous progress.
Negative about this.
But you're making it seem like it's 50% less than what it is. No. They're not the majority. We are.
We are. Who are we?
It's a lot of black people that are doing well. They just always focus. It always focus on the people that are not doing well. That's who they interview. That's who they talk to.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the progress that we make and the progress we must stand on as a platform to continue to rise.
And I understand that,
but you can't rise without a platform.
But there is a weak part of every race.
Yeah, there's a weak part.
Every race.
We've said that.
There's a weak part of every race. So there's nothing different between what's going on in our race. We have to pull up the weak ones and get them up to par.
Exactly. And we also have to appreciate the progress that we made and build
and we do.
From there on the platform so that we can rise.
We have to reach back and get them. So instead of you looking at them at the store, you have to go and turn your car off and have a conversation with them at the store and tell them all the hours they worked at the store standing there, they could be at work.
Exactly, and we got to stop demeaning African Americans. All right.
I don't think we're demeaning.
Sometimes, sure.
You know, one thing. Let me tell you this.
I've heard outrageous comments about African Americans. You know what I mean?
Ron,
and I think that's wrong.
Let's get this straight.
I speak what's on my mind. I say what's on my mind. I'm not getting bullied. All right, or told what to say. Or any of this kind of stuff.
Nor am I.
Right? I'm not suggesting that you are.
Okay,
or anybody else.
Let me tell you something.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with criticism. Everybody does it. Other cultures do it, and through criticism you rise. But if every time you turn around, you can't say that about black Americans because it's demeaning to them. The white man's already jumped on it. We can take as much as anybody else in criticism. For example, we let our schools go to pot because we won't rise up and help to give direction to our schools and stuff like that. You can't do it because we don't have for whatever reason you use.
That's not just in black schools. This is white schools.
But we're talking about black schools.
But criticism.
We are talking about black schools.
What is constructive criticism? Constructive criticism is admitting that there's a problem and offering a solution or a change.
Well, that's
so
what we
your
do.
schools that you are a part of is Clio schools, correct? Yeah. Okay, so they're doing pretty good. I mean, you always keep
they're
the stats.
Doing very good.
Okay, so do you reach back into the Flint schools and say, I would like to come and advise you of some things?
They won't accept advice. It's a local
You
control.
tried it?
You tried it? Thing. I've asked them many times.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I have.
Recently?
Oh.
Did you come as a Republican, Henry?
We don't use that. We don't.
Or you just came as a black Henry?
I don't know how I came, but I came as an educated person.
No, I'm saying it's a different forum, is what I'm saying.
No, you guys go back into race, and we can't solve anything by resolving
You just got through saying a race.
You can't go back and resolve
Henry, those are your words. You just said that we got to rise them up from their bootstraps.
Yes, you have, and because we're the lowest performing element in the public education system.
So then when I said what you said that I'm acting, I said...
That's a fact.
Yes. So what are we going to do to change it? What are we going to do to change it?
We talked about that before, what we needed to do.
But I'm saying we could talk until we're blue in the face. What are we going to do to change it?
Then I'll tell you.
I am going to offer some volunteer time because I thought about that the other day, because when I'm in my office, I work with small children. I even babysit when people are getting dropped off at the bus stop and nobody is there. So I'm doing things in my community.
But it's pitiful for us to let our education system of black children go to pot.
But you have to also, we talked about this last time, we talked about that these are the children of the addicted parents. So we have to,
not all of them.
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are, they don't have the structured homes that we're used to having. So we have to approach them differently.
But I'm talking about a completely different situation. Why should all the blacks be the lowest performing?
But all blacks are not the lowest.
That's not factual.
Hang on. Of all of the education population, we are segmented out. This is the education population. We're in here someplace just like that. Part of the education population, lowest performing. We have to correct that.
Well,
and here by 2050,
you're an educator. Tell us. Tell our millions of viewers what needs to be done.
By 2050, we're going to have responsibility for a major segment of governing this country. A major part of it. And we must prepare our kids to be able to do that. And you can't do it by affirmative action. It has to rise out of the population.
That's part of the solution. Okay?
No, it has to rise out of the population itself.
That's part of the... How do you... Give us some ideas. How do we approve this?
Well, we don't get this solved yet. You've got to bring many people to the table, the right people.
Well, give us your ideas.
You can't bring the wrong people to the table to solve a problem.
And we understand that. But you have many awards, so that means you have much knowledge about it. You've been in a lot of seminars. So why don't you start the conversation?
I don't learn from seminars. I learn from practice.
Right, but why don't you start a seminar? Why don't you start a seminar and invite some people to the table?
A lot of people have started that.
And we can have them right here on this show.
Yeah. Why don't you start it?
Many people have started that, but that takes more than that. We have to believe in something. First of all, we probably should believe in the Constitution and our way that it applies to us. That this is our land. That we were born here. It's a lot of things about the culture that we have to admit. And
that's the point. Let's admit. Let's admit.
But we are not, because we're told that we don't have to do what? We don't have to follow the law. We can do anything. Hang on, Ron. We know that. We don't. That's not a debate. But we don't tell our kids how they should behave, how they should hold their tendency for violence to each other.
Okay, but you're saying all that, and I need to say this to you because I'm a youth worker. I work with young people. Yeah. They are totally different. If I've never seen success, how can I recognize success? How can I act like success? If I've never seen it in my family, if my mother never worked, if my father never worked, if my cousins never worked, and we all lived in subsidized housing and nobody ever went to work, how would I have any virtues?
It has to rise out of your culture. But nobody else can teach it to you. They don't want to teach
Who teach you bigger than the people that are around you? Who teach you bigger
That's
than
what I'm saying. We're supposed to be on the same track.
But what I'm saying is, this is why you have these situations, because there's families that have generations in these, and they're not doing anything different. You have to do something different.
But you start small someplace.
Yeah, well, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So, yes, it's insane what we're doing.
But we're on the same page.
And that's what I'm saying.
We've come to something that you and
we
I
agree. And I want everybody, let's look out here. We actually agree to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry and I agree.
Yeah. And she's still the smoking gun. So
yes, I agree with that. It's just that you have to understand there's a background and a lot of baggage in that background.
No, what we just said, two major points that we argued over. One is that criticism isn't bad. Okay?
Right.
That's one.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, constructive. The other stuff just departs us more, spreads us out more. And we talked about what we need to stand on. We need to stand on a platform that's successful from your own community.
Yeah.
You just can't go out in a diverse community and stand on a platform and pull yourself up.
And then go home and have all of this chaos at home.
Yeah, it has to in the culture. Mm-hmm. But we fought that, and we fought against it, and we resisted it for many years. And by 2050, our kids should be able to move into government and help drive the country. And we're not anywhere close to generating that kind of a culture.
Well, first of all, I think one area to start with, that's in the home. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, and a belief in the Constitution.
I have never said I don't believe in the Constitution. All I've said is that, all right.
Can I make this real quick observation? Now, when I go into schools, guess what? When it comes to face the Constitution or the flag, nobody ever stands. Nobody ever says the words. No, this is by culture. That's bad. That's bad.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't stand anymore either. Okay, I'm not.
Stop and think about it. You're going to be here to drive a country, and you don't respect the flag.
But the man that wrote those words was a slaveholder. Okay, check the history.
He's dead. He's been gone a long time ago.
It doesn't matter.
So that means
so was Abraham Lincoln. And
we have transformed. Forget the past. This
Warren.
is the future.
In a perfect world we have. Well, but we really
if you don't know about the past,
we're evolving.
To repeat itself. All right.
We're becoming something else.
Okay.
Now you guys need to leave slavery in the past where it belongs.
Never.
Never.
Well, if you don't deal with your past, it will become.
We've heard that.
Right?
Those are great phrases.
No, but it's erudite. But look at look what we're going through right now. We did not really handle the racism and the hatred, and what is it? It's present today.
It's always going to be present.
But anyway, this has been a wonderful conversation.
Blacks have to help drive the solutions.
This has been a wonderful conversation. I hope our millions of viewers out there enjoyed our debate. This is Ronald Barry Robinson and friends. Until next time, stay focused.